Good morning, students. Today, we are having a new topic at page number 13. The age of revolution, which started from 1830 to 1848. So I request all of the students to open the textbook at page number 13 and you have the details about the topic, the age of revolution. In this topic, we are going to talk about the revolt that took place in France in July 1830. Then we will talk about the Greek War of Independence, which started in 1821. And then we will try to speak of the romantic imagination and the national feelings. So first of all, let me talk about the revolt, the upheaval that took place in France in July 1830. So on page number 13, the second passage. On page number 13, the second passage, we are going to discuss the revolt, the upheaval that occurred in France in July 1830. My dears, let me first clear that liberalism and nationalism came to be associated with a revolution. Just note down three words: liberalism and nationalism came to be associated with revolution. The revolutions which took place in many countries of Europe, for example, the 7 states of Italy, 39 states of Germany, the provinces of the Ottoman Empire, Ireland, and Poland too. In all these European countries, revolution took place. But this revolution came in associated with liberalism and nationalism. What does it mean? Liberalism and nationalism came to be associated with revolution means what? As long as a feeling of nationalism and liberalism create in the heart of the people, then they do not prefer to fight for their freedom or their liberty. As long as the feeling of liberalism and nationalism creates among the people, they are not inspired such an ideas of liberalism and nationalism. People cannot be ready to revolt themselves for the cause of the nation. That's why it is said that liberalism and nationalism must come in contact with the revolution so that people would be ready to fight for the cause of the nation. So when such idea of liberalism and nationalism came to be associated with revolution, the revolution took place in many countries of Europe, where in 7 states of Italy, 39 states of Germany, many provinces of the Ottoman Empire in Ireland, in Poland, and is the revolution that took place in different countries of Europe were led by the liberal nationalists. यूरोप के कंट्रीज रिवॉल्यूशन हुए, रिवोल्ट हुए, अपवियल्स हुए, उसका नेतृत्व लिबरल ने ही किया. Let me again clarify who were the liberal nationalists. My dear, don't confuse with this word. Liberal nationalists, revolutionaries. Who were those? They were the educated middle class elite. Elite, E-L-I-T-E. Elite का मतलब होता है representatives. So who were the liberal nationalists? Liberal nationalists were the middle class representatives. They were the educated people, educated middle class representatives. For example, members of the commercial classes. They were the teachers, thinkers, authors, lawyers, doctors, engineers, judges. They were educated people. So whenever the word liberal nationalist will come, you will think of the educated middle class representatives. So whatever revolution took place in European countries, they were led by these educated middle class elites. And now let me discuss the first upheaval, the first revolt that took place in France in July 1831. And now, very simple, very shortcut, you have to focus only on two things. What was the upheaval of France that took place in July 1830? जुलाई 1830 का जो अपहेल हुआ, जो रिवोल्ट हुआ फ्रांस में, काय के लिए था? वेरी सिंपल, इसलिए था द नेशनलिस्ट, द लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट had to root out, had to depose the Bourbon dynasty, the Bourbon kings who had been restored to power during the conservative regimes after 1815. 1815 के बाद में वही कंजर्वेटिव रेजिम्स के शासन काल में जो बर्बन किंग्स, बर्बन डायनास्टी जो रिस्टोर हुई थी आफ्टर 1815, उसको फिर से डिपोज करना, उसको हटा देना, इसलिए फ्रांस का ये रिवोल्ट था जुलाई 1830 का. तो इन जुलाई 1830 upheaval means revolt took place in France, and that was to depose the Bourbon dynasty from its power. So the Bourbon kings who had been restored to power during the conservative regimes were now overthrown by the liberal revolutionaries. क्या किया? जुलाई 1830 के रिवोल्ट में हुआ क्या? लिबरल रिवॉल्यूशनिस्ट overthrew the Bourbon dynasty. उसको उखाड़ के फेंक दिया फिर से, और उसके जगह उन्होंने क्या किया? नंबर 2, इंस्टॉल अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्की. यानी बर्बन जो डायनास्टी थी, इट वाज एब्सोल्यूट डायनास्टी. एब्सोल्यूट का मीनिंग मैंने इसके पहले भी बताया है. एब्सोल्यूट डायनास्टी, एब्सोल्यूट मोनार्की means a king, a monarch having all kinds of powers in his hand, and such a monarchy can be despotic, अन्यायी अत्याचारी हो सकता है. तो constitutional monarch and absolute monarch, both the terms are quite different. Absolute monarchy means having all powers, and one person enjoy execute all these powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary powers. So this liberal revolution dynasty and installed constitutional monarchy. Constitutional monarch means a monarch, a king who will be at the head of the nation, but without powers. The real powers would be executed by the parliament, by the representatives of the people. So, such a constitutional monarchy was installed with Louis Philippe at its head. Means Louis under the head of Louis Philippe. Louis Philippe became the constitutional monarch of France when after the revolt of July 1830. So the Bourbon kings, the Bourbon dynasty was overthrown, and the constitutional monarchy, Louis Philippe at its head, was installed. This is the main crux of the revolt of July 1830. Then, when this revolt took place in France, other European countries got inspiration from it. Example was given here of Belgium. In the capital city of Belgium, means Brussels, the revolutionary nationalists revolted against the monarch there, against the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. That time Belgium was a part of United Kingdom of Netherlands, and the revolutionaries revolted. They fought in Brussels, which is the capital city of Belgium. These revolutions brought about the revolution there, and in this way, Belgium was broken away from the United Kingdom of Netherlands. In short, this inspiration they got from the revolt of France of July 1830. That's why the Australian Duke Metternich, he was a Austrian Chancellor, Duke Metternich. He once remarked, एक बार उसने कहा था कि when France sneezes, जब भी फ्रांस सिंकता है, sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. What does it mean? Means whatever changes take place, whatever upheavals take place in France, other countries of Europe get inspiration from it, and they also try to become the nation state. They got liberty for their countries, but after all, they got this inspiration from the revolts that took place time to time in France. So that was one example of Belgium given here. Now let us think about the Greek War of Independence. The Greek War of Independence took place in 1821. Actually, Greece was a part of Ottoman Empire since the 15th century. Just see in the third passage on page number 13, passage number 3, you will see there. We are talking about Greek War of Independence, which started in Greece in 1821. So what is Greek War of इंडिपेंडेंस, आजादी की जो लड़ाई चालू हुई ग्रीस में, ये क्या है? started in 1821, तो वो ये है कि from 15th century, Greece had been a part of Ottoman Empire. That was the Muslim Empire, you know. It means Greece was under the rule of Ottoman Empire from 15th century. So, the revolutionary nationalists in Greece saw how the upheavals were taking place in Europe. यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में अलग अलग कंट्री में जो रिवोल्ट्स हो रहे थे वो उन्होंने देखा. सो द रिवॉल्यूशनरी नेशनलिस्ट इन ग्रीस were highly impressed by the revolutionary acts of other European nationalists. They took inspiration from them, and they also started their struggle against the Muslim Empire, against the Ottoman Empire in 1821. Now, we will see who supported the Greek nationalists, the Greek revolutionaries in this struggle of independence. ग्रीस ने जब अपना स्ट्रगल चालू किया अगेंस्ट ओटोमन एम्पायर, इंडिपेंडेंस के लिए, लिबर्टी के लिए, तो ग्रीक का साथ किसने किसने दिया? Who supported Greece in this struggle against the Ottoman Empire? So in short, they were the nationalists in Europe. सबसे पहले हमें ध्यान रखना है कि इस युद्ध में the Greek War of Independence against Ottoman Empire started in 1820. But who supported Greece in this war against Ottoman Empire? They were the nationalists in Europe. Nationalists in other countries of Europe also supported Greece in this struggle against Ottoman Empire. Then other Greeks in exile. Other Greeks in exile means those Greek revolutionaries or nationalists who were living in other European countries. They also supported Greek War of Independence. Greeks who were in exile. Greeks who were in exile means those Greek revolutionaries who were living, who were existing in other European countries. They also supported from there to this Greek War of Independence. Number 3, many nationalists from West Europe. वेस्ट यूरोप से बहुत सारे ऐसे नेशनलिस्ट लोग थे, रिवॉल्यूशन लोग थे. दे आल्सो सपोर्टेड ग्रीक वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस. सिमिलरली द पोएट्स and the artists also supported the war of independence of Greece. For example, Lord Byron. He was an English poet, Lord Byron. He also supported Greece in this war against Ottoman Empire. Now, let me list the names who supported Greece in this struggle. They were the nationalists in Europe. There were other Greeks in exile. There were many nationalists from West Europe. They were the poets and artists, and also Lord Byron, an English poet. Now let us see in a detail. Nationalists in Greece got support from other Greeks living in exile. They were the Greek people, but they were living in other European countries, so they supported. Number 2, Greek nationalists were also supported by many West Europeans. Why? Because West Europeans had a sympathy for ancient Greek culture. यानी वेस्ट यूरोपियन लोगों ने क्यों ग्रीस को इस युद्ध में सपोर्ट किया? क्योंकि these West Europeans had much sympathy, उनको बहुत सिंपैथी थी फॉर द एंशिएंट ग्रीक कल्चर। ग्रीक की कल्चर बहुत प्राचीन संस्कृति है ग्रीस की, और इस एंशिएंट ग्रीक कल्चर के लिए वेस्ट यूरोपियन लोगों के मन में बहुत एक आदर था, एक सिंपैथी थी, एंड दैट्स व्हाई many of the revolutionary nationalist people from West countries supported Greece. Why? Because they had much sympathy, respect, love for the ancient Greek culture. Then poets and artists also lauded. Lauded means here praise Greece as the cradle. Here cradle means origin, ugam sthan. Cradle. Cradle means here origin, ugam sthan. So Greece, according to the poets and artists, Greece was the origin. Greece was the cradle of European civilization. यूरोप की जो सिविलाइजेशन है, यूरोप की जो संस्कृति है, इसका उगम स्थान ग्रीस है। यूरोपियन सिविलाइजेशन का ओरिजिन यानी क्रेडल ग्रीस है। That's why a number of poets like Lord Byron, a number of artists praise, they lauded Greece as the cradle, Greece as origin of the European civilization. That's why this mobilized public opinion. इससे क्या हुआ? जनता का सपोर्ट मिलते गया, उसको एक गति मिली, mobilize public opinion to support a struggle against the Muslim empire. So when the poets, artists lauded Greece as the origin of the European civilization, when many West Europeans showed their sympathy, love, respect for the ancient Greek culture, when other Greeks living in exile also supported this struggle, then Greek could win in this struggle. So, the English poet Lord Byron organized fund. What was his contribution in this struggle? Lord Byron ने क्या contribution दिया? तो he organized fund. उसने पैसे fund collect किया, organized fund, and he also went in fight in the war from the side of Greece. Actually, he was an English poet. Lord Byron was an English poet. But he had a great sympathy for Greece. So his contribution was that he collected a fund, he organized a fund, and not only he collected a fund, but he himself took part in this struggle against Ottoman Empire. But unfortunately, what happened with him, that he died of fever in 1824. 1824 में बुखार के कारण Lord Byron died. He died due to fever in 1824, and in this way, Treaty of Constantinople took place in 1832, and Greece was recognized as an independent nation. तो ग्रीक को एक स्वतंत्र स्टेट या स्वतंत्र देश करके उसको रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया, उसको मान्यता दे दी गई ओटोमन एम्पायर से अब फ्रीडम मिला, तो ग्रीस was separated from Ottoman Empire. Greece became free from the clutches of Ottoman Empire in 1832. So Treaty of Constantinople took place, and according to the Treaty of Constantinople of 1832, Greece was given independence. Greece was recognized as a independent nation. It became free from the reign of Ottoman Empire. So this is all about Greek War of Independence. Now let me talk about the romantic imagination and national feeling on the same page, page number 13. The romantic imagination, my dears, let me first clarify what is romantic imagination. You will take romantic imagination as the cultural movement. See, romantic imagination means cultural movement. अगर आप रोमांटिक इमेजिनेशन के लिए अगर कल्चरल मूवमेंट अगर ये वर्ड ध्यान में रखते तो आपके जल्दी ध्यान में आ जाएगा. तो द रोमांटिक इमेजिनेशन एंड नेशनल फीलिंग, कैन यू टेल मी, is there any connection, is there any relation between national feeling and the romantic imagination, means the cultural movement? रोमांटिक इमेजिनेशन यानी कल्चरल मूवमेंट, इसके और नेशनल फीलिंग के साथ इसमें कोई रिलेशन है? यस, बोथ द वर्ड्स आर क्लोजली रिलेटेड. रोमांटिक इमेजिनेशन मीन्स कल्चरल मूवमेंट एंड नेशनल फीलिंग्स. cultural movements. Culture include, art, poetry, stories, music, song, dances, language, etc. ये सब चीजें कल्चर के अंदर आती है. कल्चरल मूवमेंट स्टार्टेड इन यूरोप. मीन्स व्हाट? The revolutionaries nationalists tried to gather support of the common people through dances, through music, through poetry, through language, and through stories, and also through art. So there is the close relation between the two words, romantic imagination, that means cultural movement, and the national feelings. National feelings are created among the heart of the people when we appeal their hearts, their minds through their local dances, local music, local languages, art and poetry too. और ध्यान रखिए कि हम हमेशा ऐसे बोलते हैं कि हमारा जो भारत है, इंडिया है, हमारा भारत, द ट्रू स्पिरिट ऑफ द कंट्री लाइज इन कंट्री साइड, लाइज इन रूरल एरिया, इन विलेजेस. इसका मतलब ये है कि ग्रामीण एरिया में, कंट्री साइड में कॉमन पीपल, पुअर पीपल लिव्स. और सही भारत हमें देखना है तो हम खेड़े पाड़ों में देख सकते हैं. वही बात यहाँ पर है कि नेशनल फीलिंग्स हमें अगर क्रिएट करना है इस स्ट्रगल में, बिकॉज एवरी यूरोपियन कंट्री वांटेड टू बिकम अ नेशन स्टेट. they wanted to become free from the monarchs. उस समय मोनार्की थी तो उससे फ्रीडम चाहिए लोगों को, उनको लिबर्टी चाहिए, इक्वलिटी चाहिए, जस्टिस चाहिए, और इसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? तो दे विल हैव टू स्टार्ट स्ट्रगल. बट हु विल स्टार्ट स्ट्रगल? The people of the country, people of the nation will start the struggle. But when will they start struggle? As long as they are not inspired by the nationalist feelings, as long as the hearts of the common people are not filled with of patriotic feelings. देशभक्ति से जब तक हमारे मन नहीं भरेंगे, हमारे मन में वो देशभक्ति जब तक जागरूक नहीं होंगी, नेशनलिस्ट फीलिंग जब तक जागरूक नहीं होंगी, तब तक सामान्य लोग, uneducated people living in countryside will not stand, will not rise to fight against the autocracy. जुल्म के खिलाफ हम तब तक नहीं खड़े होंगे लड़ने के लिए जब तक हमारे मन में पैट्रियोटिक फीलिंग्स, नेशनलिस्ट फीलिंग क्रिएट नहीं होती. तो इसलिए नेशनल फीलिंग अगर हमें क्रिएट करना है, इफ यू वांट टू क्रिएट नेशनल फीलिंग अमंग द अनएजुकेटेड पीपल लिविंग इन कंट्री साइड इन रूरल एरिया, then we will have to appeal to their hearts through their local dances, local language, local music, local art. इस माध्यम से लोकल स्टोरीज, इन सब माध्यम से हमें, जब हम उन लोगों के उनकी भाषा में जब उनको हम कुछ समझाते हैं तो लोग जल्दी जुड़ जाते हैं. दे ज्वाइन द स्ट्रगल इमीडिएटली. तो वही हमारे रोमांटिक, हमारे जो रिवॉल्यूशनरी नेशनलिस्ट थे यानी जो एजुकेटेड मिडिल क्लास एलाइज थे, दे ट्राइड टू गैदर पीपल इन कंट्रीसाइड through their local languages, music, art, and dances. That is through the culture. So the romantic imagination means here cultural movement, and cultural movement started in Europe. For what? To gather the support of the common people living in countryside for their struggle for liberty, their struggle against the monarchy. Now let us see in a detail page number 13, the romantic imagination and the national feeling. See, the development of nationalism, growth of nationalism did not come about only through wars and territorial expansion. Means nationalism, no doubt, arises, creates through wars and territorial expansion. युद्ध के माध्यम से हमारे मन में नेशनलिज्म क्रिएट होता है. Through wars, nationalism creates in our heart. Also through territorial expansion, प्रादेशिक विस्तार. जब टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन की हम बात करते हैं, इफ इंडिया वांट टू एक्सपांड इटसेल्फ, इफ इंडिया वांट्स टू गेन द एंटायर कश्मीर, दैट इज टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन, then after we will be haunted by the nationalist feeling and we will be ready to fight for that cause. So, development of nationalism or growth of nationalism come about. हमारे मन में निर्माण होता है not only through wars and territorial expansion, but also through culture. हमारी जो संस्कृति, जैसे वार के माध्यम से हमारे मन में नेशनलिज्म की भावना क्रिएट होती है, फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म क्रिएट होती है, या टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन के जरिए फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म क्रिएट्स इन आवर हार्ट. इन द सेम वे feeling of nationalism develop in our heart, in our mind through culture. That's why the nationalists in Europe focus on the culture. तो कल्चर के ऊपर उन्होंने बहुत ज्यादा फोकस दिया. अब कल्चर क्या है? तो आई हैव ऑलरेडी क्लियर टू यू दैट द कल्चर इंक्लूड all these things: art and poetry, stories, drama, music, language, dances, songs, all these things include culture. कल्चर के अंदर ये सब चीजें आती है. तो nationalist focus on culture because culture played very important role. Culture play very important role in creating the idea of the nation. Idea of the nation create करना है लोगों के मन में, तो it is through culture. Culture, it is the culture which creates the idea of nation among the people of the country. So that's why the nationalists focus on culture. Culture played an important role in creating the idea of the nation. Art, poetry, stories, music, all these cultural activities were focused because they shape nationalist feelings. हमारे nationalist feelings को culture gives proper shape, and that's why they focus on it. Now let us talk about romanticism. I already told you, romanticism, romantic imagination, romanticism is a cultural movement. If romanticism is a cultural movement, then we must think of all these things. That is poetry, art, stories, music, language, dance, etc. So romanticism was a cultural movement which tried to develop a particular form of nationalist sentiments. Means romanticism tried to create national sentiments among the people. And this cultural movement tried to create national sentiments among the people. Romantic artists were there, romantic poets were there, who criticized the glorification of reason and science. Let me clarify this. Romantic artists and poets. Poets wrote poetry, artists created art, artists through their art, the poets through their poetry. क्रिटिसाइज किया उन्होंने अपने कविता के माध्यम से, आर्ट के माध्यम से. The artists and the poets criticize the glorification of reason and science. Up, the question arises, why did the artist and poet criticize glorification of science and reason? साइंस और रीजन का यहाँ पे मतलब होता है हमारा तर्क, हमारा लॉजिक, रीजन. क्योंकि रीजन हमेशा सच्चाई बताता है, वो सच होता है, ट्रू होता है. और साइंस ये भी सब फैक्चुअल होता है, ट्रू होता है. तो रीजन, दैट इज आवर लॉजिक, वी थिंक वेदर इट इज राइट और रॉन्ग. हम रीजन का यूज करते हैं, हमारे दिमाग से हमारे लॉजिक लगाते हैं, हम सोचते हैं कि ये सही है कि गलत. तो रीजन एंड साइंस both points out reality, the fact, and the romantics means the romantics, poets and artists criticize the glorification. बड़ेपन, ग्लोरिफिकेशन मतलब होता है बड़ेपन, उसका वैभव, बड़ेपन, बड़ापन. So the romantic artists and poets criticize the glorification of reason and science. Why? Because they brings to us reality, the fact, and the common people living in countryside, uneducated people living in the rural area of Europe had nothing to do with the reality, with the reason, with science. तो उनको क्या चाहिए? जो अनएजुकेटेड लोग होते हैं, खेड़े पाड़ों में रहने वाले, उनको
हेलो
साइंस को लेन देन नहीं होती, इस
हेलो
रीजन से
सर
हाँ ये सर
इट्स 10:05
हाँ हाँ यस सर आई एम रिवाइंडिंग
you can take a short revision and wind up the class.
हाँ
Okay.
यस सर यस हाँ यस सर so the uneducated people in countryside had nothing to do with science and reasons means with the truth and fact इससे उनको लेन देन नहीं होता उनको क्या चाहिए जो रोमांटिक है जो इमेजिनेटिव है जो सुपरस्टिशंस है अंधश्रद्धाएं कोई भूत की कथाएं कोई इमेजिनेटिव गॉड्स के बारे में अगर कुछ है अरे जो रोमांटिक है कुछ विलक्षण है आउट ऑफ माइंड है आउट ऑफ थिंकिंग है इसका आकर्षण होता है अनएजुकेटेड लोगों को खेल पाने सो our nationalists did not focus on science and reason but they focus on such a thing so in the next period I will discuss in detail and I hope you might have got this topic well in future means during the summer vacation I will try to post some of the hints regarding each and every topic that will help you in understanding all the previous topics so thank you have a nice day. Aniket? In a meeting.